Good morning, Year 11. Hope you're doing well since the last time we spoke. Got another careers session for you today. Last time I talked a bit about how we can look towards the future, and so I wanted to continue this theme and do a session all about the future. So this is about future proofing. So this is about looking at what you might like to do as a future career and making sure that that's going to be available to you in the future. We are changing all the time when it comes to what careers are actually out there. It's changing really, really fast, and we need to really take this into consideration when making our choices as to what we're going to do in the future, because what we don't want to do is make a choice towards a career that might not be there in 10 years' time. Okay, so we're going to talk a lot about that today. Okay, so I want you to look at these jobs and let me know what you think they all have in common. So we've got app developer, fracking consultant, vlogger, sustainability engineer, driverless car engineer, social media manager. So what do you think all of those jobs have in common? So 10 years ago, none of those jobs actually existed. Okay, so have a think about that. So what do you think these jobs have in common? Milkman, postal worker, cashier, librarian, taxi dispatcher, travel agent. What do you think they've got in common? So by the time you're about 25 years old, they're unlikely to exist. Okay, so we've got jobs that we're looking at in 10 years' time that don't currently exist. Okay, and we've got jobs that won't exist in 10 years' time. So we've really got to think about what skills you're going to need in 10 years' time. So thinking about your future, some jobs that exist now will become automated. So what that means is they will be taken over by robots, essentially. Some jobs simply won't any longer be needed, okay? So they just won't be required. So you need to start considering what skills you're likely to need in the workplace of the future, and what skills are unique to humans and will always be needed, okay? So let's just talk quickly about what skills and qualities are so that we're clear on that. So skills are something you can do. A skill is an ability to perform a particular task. So for example, I've written down here just 4 of them. So just as examples that we all know, so IT skills, organisational skills, teamwork skills, and problem solving skills. They are really high up on the agenda when employers are looking at what sort of skills you can offer them. So what are qualities? Qualities are the way you would describe your personalities. So a quality is a personal trait which reflects in our behaviour, okay? So you might be a flexible person, you might be resilient, enthusiastic and driven, and determined. Again, these are just 4 or 5 examples of what employers are really, really looking for at the moment. Okay, so I'm just going to play you a short video just to go over what the future of the workplace might look like.
Your parents worked stable, linear careers. Uni to retirement jobs, gold watch handshake, see you on the golf course. But now careers are fragmented, specialised and complex. Your career will most likely be more of a portfolio of micro careers.
We are the slashy generation. You know, like I'm a filmmaker / social innovator / brand disruptor / barista. But if you're studying, returning to study, or even swapping careers, you might want to pay attention to this. In fact, you might even get another slash for your Twitter bio.
The government's 2015 intergenerational report says that by mid this century, life expectancy at birth will be around 96 years of age. Improvements in healthcare means you're going to be working for the man well into your golden years. Or will you?
The one thing that we can be certain of is the idea of a full-time job is already getting to be a much, much rarer thing. When my father went to work, you might have a job for 20, 30 years, even a lifetime. Now when someone starts working, they might have a job for 2 or 3 years, and that's coming down and down and down to where jobs are now starting to look like gigs. When you come onto a project, you work for 6 months, and then you go on to your next gig.
Everyone seems to be very uncertain about what the future economy looks like. What can you be certain of?
When someone's leaving school now, they have to understand they're going to spend their entire life singing for their supper. They're always going to be out hustling for the next job. They're always going to be an entrepreneur.
Is it a misnomer to think that in the future, jobs are all technical?
If a job can be automated away, it's going to be. Think about it. There are no secretaries in the universe anymore. And when I was born, the world was all secretaries. Those jobs went away because of word processors and email, and people had phones and they carried them everywhere. And so in the same way, many of the jobs we think of as being absolutely commonplace today, they're going to get wiped out. Look at the cashiers in supermarkets. Look at bank tellers. Every one of these things, they keep on going. We barely even notice that we're interacting with robots these days, but that's what's happening when you walk up to an ATM.
One US consultancy dreamt up a list of 20 jobs of the future. Here are some of the best ones. Productivity counselors, kind of like a career counselor with tracking technologies to help you improve your output. Personal digital curators, kind of like a social guru to manage your ever-evolving and ever-important online personality and career. Corporate disorganizers to shuffle hierarchies in companies to create startup cultures and organize chaos. Crowdfunding specialists to help you engineer your campaign for revenue success. And lastly, a digital detox therapist for when your personal digital curator has signed you up to too many social media platforms.
So the future belongs to people who have the kind of jobs that you can never teach a robot to do, things that are so sophisticated or require such sensitivity or emotion, or it's a type of labor that you can't buy from 100 million other people because you don't want to be competing against all of the rest of the world.
So what's your advice to today's job leavers and upskillers about the jobs they'll need to fulfill in the future?
Take all of the different businesses that are on offer and figure out ways of spinning them together into new businesses. So you can think of celebrity chefs creating great recipes out of food. In the future, people are going to be able to do that with businesses.
Well, maybe in the future, a robot can teach me how to cook. So whether you might be an alternative currency speculator, a personal data coach, or a meme broker, one thing is clear. As a culture and economy, we've worked out how to share and connect. So if you do something now that a computer or someone in India could do cheaper, time to hit the job ads.
Okay, so what they're saying is that the future of the workplace is changing. It's changing fast. You need to keep up with it. You need to be looking at what is happening out there in the world of work, and you need to match your skills to that, okay? So let's have a look at some of those skills that you might want to concentrate on, particular transferable skills that you might want to concentrate on improving or developing yourself to make sure that you are a cut above the rest when you're going out there and you are job seeking in the future, okay? So things that are going to be important for you to really make sure that you are developing are communication skills, computing skills, working on your numeracy, team working, adaptability, problem solving, and a willingness to retrain and constantly learn new skills. So the future that you're going into is a workplace where you're going to be training and retraining all the time. So you've got to be willing to learn more and more as you go on. Okay, so you might be thinking, why on earth do I need to start thinking about this right now? I'm so young, I don't need this. Well, actually, like I say, the world of work that you'll be entering into is so fast paced and very different to what we have been used to. So you need to be prepared, and being prepared does mean starting now, okay? So you need to start considering what skills are less likely to become automated, so you can focus on developing those skills now and get one step ahead. So it might be that you're really creative, okay? Maybe you're good at generating new ideas, problem solving, maybe you're really artistic, or you're great at performing, okay? So maybe you're in that creative bracket, which would be wonderful. Maybe you're extremely caring. So human care, if you think about it, it's not something that could ever be given automatically by a robot, is it? Okay, you know, that very human, emotional side to things. Are you computer literate? I think a lot of jobs are going to involve computers, but we need to remember, although things can be automated, that computers still need to be programmed and fixed when things go wrong. So maybe you'd like to be on that side of things, okay? So being IT literate is really, really important as well, all right? But just looking at those brackets and saying, do I fit into one of those brackets somewhere? If not, there are still other things out there. That list is not exhaustive, okay? So there are still other things out there, but you just need to think about where you might fit in and what skills you might want to concentrate on. Okay, so just thinking about these things, I wanted to give you a task, okay? So one of the tasks I wanted to give you was, what are you going to do to develop your skill set? So I know that a lot of Year 11s that I've spoken to before find it quite difficult to even know what their own skills are, okay? So one of the things is to find out what your current skills are, okay? So you might want to sit down with your parents and carers at home, people that love you, people that know you really well, speak to them on the phone at the moment and say, what are my skills? I know I spoke about that in the first session. I sort of suggested that you needed to do that. But then I want you to think about how you might go about developing your skills, you know, making your skill set even bigger, okay? And again, you might be thinking, well, why do I need to do that now? This is a prime time for you to be doing this in Year 11. It's a great time for you to be doing this. You're young, your brain is so ready to learn more. So I really want you to think about perhaps joining a club of some kind, taking up a new hobby, getting some work experience. I'm very aware, by the way, as I go down this list, that right at this moment, a lot of these things might not be able to be done of immediate effect, but you can go online and look into them, okay? You can think about what you might want to do, and you can look at maybe signing up to something for when we get out of lockdown and you're able to actually join in with these things. Okay, so continuing down that list, volunteering somewhere, maybe an elderly person's home, or maybe it's doing somebody's gardening, maybe it is in a charity shop. Okay, so volunteering can come in lots of different forms. So there are volunteering opportunities that can suit everybody. So learning a new creative skill, maybe a musical instrument, maybe sewing, knitting, that sort of thing. Taking up a new sport, okay, something that you've not tried before, something that you've always wanted to take up but maybe thought, oh no, I can't do that. Well, why not go for it now, okay, to develop that skill set. And learn a new language possibly. All of these things are going to give you evidence for your future application forms, whether that be to college or university, to an apprenticeship, whatever you're going to go on to apply for. Those skills that you are developing, those clubs that you join, those hobbies that you take up, they give you evidence of what skills you actually have, and you can put those down on your application forms for the future, okay? What we don't want is for you to start to write an application form and actually find that you don't have any evidence of any skills that you've got, okay? I've seen that a lot in the past, so that's why I want to prepare you now so that you are prepared for your future when it comes to those application forms, and prepared for the long-term future for those careers that you're going to actually go into, okay? Okay, a second task is for you to go to this link. It's Success at School again, which you should have gone on to last week, and it's about future-proofing yourself. So that will help you to be more informed about the decisions that you're going to make for your future and to make that future sustainable. Okay, so there's quite a lot out there about this in online, because it's something that a lot of people are studying and they're looking into, and they are writing articles about it, because it's really, really interesting that what we don't want to do is send a whole lot of the next generation out into the world completely unprepared for what they're going to come across. We wouldn't be doing our jobs properly if we said, okay, you need X, Y, and Z, which is what I needed for my job, when we're sending you out into a completely different workplace and a completely different world. Okay, so this is a particularly good article that I want you to go to and read so that we can discuss that later. Okay, so that's bye for now. I'll see you on Thursday for a Zoom session to discuss your findings and answer any questions you might have, and to discuss what you've been thinking about a little bit more. Thank you for listening. Speak to you again soon.